Team, huddle up. I know what you're thinking. Beat the Bookie is washed. Nobody's won money on the show in weeks. I hear the doubt, I hear the noise, but I'm different. It's a new day on Beat the Bookie, and I'm excited to be the one that starts the turnaround. My name is Jish Sokolsky, and I'm here to tell you how to beat the bookie this weekend. We've got some exciting college football games on deck and an even more excited host to break it all down. They don't call me Jay Money for nothing. Lock in for these 15 minutes, and you'll experience wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Are you ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? I really can't hear you. Let's get right into it. Beat the Bookie starts right now.
Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Welcome into Beat the Bookie. I'm Jish Sokolsky. Before we get into my picks this week, let's take a look at what our sports director, Adam Avon, did last week. And shocker, he's in the red. Everybody this week has been in the red. If you ask him, he'll say he got very unlucky. I think he did. Cade Klubnik injury really didn't do him any favors. And Ole Miss completely choking at the end. That didn't do him any favors either. He was minus 30. But hey, a nice Georgia Tech pick there to win $10. I guess that's a little lipstick on a pig. So let's see how Avon stacks up to the rest of our Beat the Bookie hosts. And would you believe that being minus 30 is good for third place? Not one host this fall has gotten in the green so far. Nico Horning, yes sir, is still in the lead at minus 20. Folks, we got a lot of work to do, but the comeback starts today, right now. Let's start with the big kahuna, a classic case of stellar offense meeting a brick wall defense. Number 8 Ole Miss heads to Norman to face a ferocious 13th-ranked Oklahoma. And you can tell this is a Sooners team coached by Brent Venables. The defense is arguably the best in the country. I mean, 9 points a game allowed, 28 sacks in a nation low, 213 yards per game. That 5.5-point spread seems like an easy cover for OU, but not so fast. Like Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin, I'm taking this thread, I'm throwing it 30 feet in the air. Oklahoma is yet to play an offense that's even close to Mississippi's. Last week, the Rebels scored on their first 5 drives in a hostile Sanford Stadium against a very good Georgia defense. If Ole Miss changes up some of their offensive signs like Lane Kiffin said they would, they can break through this Oklahoma boa constrictor defense. And John Mateer, the quarterback of the Sooners, is not playing anywhere close to where he was in the first 4 weeks. It's been 3 years since Kiffin lost back-to-back games, and an Alexander Hamilton says that streak doesn't end this weekend. I'm taking the Rebels to cover the 5.5-point spread at the very least. Let's keep it in the SEC because, after all, it just means more. But if I told you 2 years ago that Vanderbilt would be a top 10 team fighting for a college football playoff spot against number 15 Missouri, I wouldn't blame you if you called me crazy. The longtime little brothers of the SEC meet in Nashville, each with 1 loss on the season, and they both pack some fireworks. Quarterback Diego Pavia is a veteran leader who gets the ball out quick and can score with his legs. But he faces a Missouri defense that is feisty. This Vanderbilt offensive line has only given up 5 sacks this year, but Zion Young and Damon Wilson have combined for 10 on their own. This Mizzou defense has a 70% stop rate, meaning teams don't score on them. Vandy can't say the same, ranking outside the top 60 in stop rate. The big issues for the Commodores is they can't really get off the field on 3rd down and struggle against elite backs, and that's an issue when playing Missouri, who have the SEC's leader in rush yards in bell cow Ahmad Hardy and a 3rd down success rate of over 50%. I know Eli Drinkowitz is prone to meltdowns outside of Columbia, but come on. Vanderbilt's only a hostile environment if you hate country music. This is no SEC road environment. Give me the Cats to cover as 2.5-point dogs. I'll slap 10 big ones on that. Let's ride. And speaking of 10, number 3 Texas A&M has themselves a quarterback. And a quarterback that's quite underrated. Marcel Reed is a bad man. The dual threat quarterback that has the Aggies undefeated. Can he continue his hot streak in Death Valley? Let me answer that with another question. Is grass green? It all starts up front. I love A&M in the trenches. LSU's pass rush has been good, but not next level. And it doesn't even matter. The Aggies have won in so many different ways. Shootouts against Notre Dame, low-scoring slugfests against Auburn. I'm liking the road teams this week. A&M covers the 2.5-point spread, and I'm dropping 10 VC on that mock. So those are my picks. Let's see what the guys in the C-Suite edit studio have to think about these picks as well. Hey, look at that. That's me working at a brunch place. It looks like they're taking the 5.5-point spread for OU. It looks like they honestly just hate me. They're taking everything that I'm not. OU minus 5.5, Vandy minus 2.5, LSU plus 2.5. If that says anything, it just means that this is going to be a very, very competitive slate of games. I'm excited to prove Griffin and Adam wrong all weekend long and laugh my way to the bank. All right, you should be going with my picks for the game of the week, and if you aren't already swimming in cash, don't worry. I'll get you up to speed with my best bets. In case you missed it, Arizona State is back in the top 25, which means one thing. They're on choke watch. I know what you're thinking, but Jish, don't you know they just beat Texas Tech? ASU is back, which makes logical sense, but this is the Big 12. It seems like a team gets upset every week, and the Sun Devils, hosting a 6-1 Houston team knocking on the door of the rankings, well, they're in trouble. Quarterback Connor Wegman was magical in the OT win over Arizona last week, on his way to becoming the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Plus, Arizona State is down its best offensive weapon in Jordan Tyson. That loss is too steep, but the target isn't off the Devils' back. Give me the Cougars money line at plus 220. $15 should help you out. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I like college football, but I live, sleep, and breathe the NFL. Let's go to a game that nobody had circled on their calendar. Why would anyone be talking about the Ravens-Bears game? A team that has a 2-time MVP quarterback should not be in the same universe as a team that hasn't been relevant in 15 years, right? Wrong. The Ravens have been horrendous. Even with quarterback Lamar Jackson in, the defense was getting gashed, and the offense just couldn't keep up. The Bears are quietly on a 4-game win streak, and while the Dubs haven't necessarily been pretty, they continue to find ways. With Lamar potentially returning this week, it's hard to bet against Baltimore, but easy to bet on Chicago to cover. $10 says they keep this within a 1-touchdown game. You can book that one. And now to a team I've loved watching these past few weeks. The Colts aren't just a good team this year. Their offense has been historic. They are the most efficient offense this century so far. Yes, better than the 07 Patriots, better than the 2018 Chiefs. In its first 28 quarters of play this season, Indy has put up a goose egg in just 4 of them. So who has the nightmare of matching up with the Shoes this week? None other than the measly Tennessee Titans, who gave up the 5th most points in the league. Compound that with the fact that Indy already boat raced them by 3 tutties earlier this year, it feels like free money to assume the Colts will score in all 4 quarters this Sunday. This weekend, this is our Colts, this is our team, we bleed blue, and I'm dropping a crisp $20 for the Shoe to score in all 4 quarters. Now, I hope you're keeping up because we're now racing to the future. That's something that fans of the New York Jets have been doing for the past half-century. And at 0-7, a brighter future can't come fast enough for Gang Green. It's not looking great for New York, but Jets fans can hang their head on the fact that there's just been 2 winless teams in the Super Bowl era. Spoiler alert, New York will not be one of them because there is a worse team in their own division. Miami has been a dumpster fire this year, and it's plausible to assume that in their matchup on December 7th, that'll be a tank bowl. But the Jets have notoriously overperformed when high draft picks are on the line. Think back to 2020 when they won against the Rams to take them out of the Trevor Lawrence conversation. It'll be another bumpy month for Gang Green, but just when you accept that they'll never win is when they'll surprise you with a win over the Dolphins. $10 will win you $100 if you follow me and say the Jets' first win of the season will be when they host Tua and the Dolphins on a cold December afternoon. So now that you know my future bet, let's look to see what some of these other hosts, by the way, in the red, have talked about in their future picks. And so far, it's pretty undetermined. We only have 1 loss so far. Nico Horning said the San Francisco Giants would make a wild card push. Spoiler alert, they did not. He lost $10 on that. But given that the hosts so far are in the red, we kind of are hoping that all of these futures cash in an ISU Big 12 champ. That's a nice outside shot there. I'm really liking Adam's Panthers Eastern Conference Finals pick. I think that's probably the safest bet. Luke Burgess saying Carson Beck's winning the Heisman. That's looking worse and worse every day. I don't know. I think Mizzou can make the CFP for Jake Klein. There are some good promising picks here that could potentially get Beat the Bookie back in the green, but we won't even need those futures because all of my picks are hitting this week. Now, typically in the show, this is where I give you my parlay and wow the crowd, but we're trying out something new this week on Beat the Bookie. It's time for my lock of the week. Now, sources are telling me there's this big baseball game going on, this big series, they call it the World Series. I don't know. Sounds like you can win some money on it, though. On Beat the Bookie, we go big or we go home. That's why I'm turning your attention to the long ball. The Dodgers and Blue Jays each have had some impressive home run hitters, but there are none more prolific than the man with a plan from Japan. Shohei Ohtani had a career-best 55 homers in the regular season and has shown no signs of slowing in the playoffs. The two-way demon just hit 3 nukes in the clinching game against Milwaukee, and I don't think he's done. Toronto has given up the most homers in the postseason, and that's a big reason why Shohei, and not Vladdy, will hit the most homers this series. The Dodgers have only given up 4 big flies this postseason, and I think Guerrero comes back down to earth. I'm not betting against the future GOAT. 2 Wendy's Biggie Bag says Shohei leads the World Series in home runs and gets it done for the Dodgers as they go back-to-back. Now, I know you've gotten to know me, and you know that I love the NFL, but if you really know me, you know I'm a die-hard Philadelphia Eagles fan. Losing to the Giants on national television 2 weeks ago was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I felt powerless, frustrated, and angry. So I channeled that rage into this magical parlay in the rematch this Sunday. That'll really show them. First and foremost, Eagles are going to win this game. You can take that money line, take it to the bank on the first leg of that parlay. Second, Jalen Hurts just had his best passing performance of the season last week with over 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Expect an angry Super Bowl MVP to exact revenge by eclipsing the 1.5 passing scores this time out. And who's he throwing to first? Well, with wideout A.J. Brown's status up in the air, I decided to go out on a limb and assume that tight end Dallas Goedert will catch the first touchdown of the game. I mean, he leads the team in receiving scores. He's going to draw up first blood. Now, this is an ambitious parlay that only the brave and spiteful should follow. Do you dare to drop a 5er on this? Like Lunis said 30 years ago, I got 5 on it, and I can win over 60 big ones when it cashes. What are you waiting for? Fortune favors the brave. Go out and be great. So, just a little recap. I put $10 on Ole Miss to cover, $10 on Missouri to cover, and $10 on A&M to cover in the games of the week. I like the $15 on a Houston upset over number 24 Arizona State. In my mind, wouldn't really be an upset. We got $10 on the Bears to cover at the Ravens. I think that they're just going to do enough to keep this a competitive game. $20 says the Colts score in every quarter. Ohtani's going to hit the most home runs in the World Series, $10 for that to come true. $10 says the Jets' first win will come against the Dolphins on December 7th. You can win $100 if you follow me there. And $5 on the Eagles parlay. Hurts over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Goddard will catch the first one, and the Eagles will win that game, exact some revenge over the Giants. It's sure to be an exciting slate of sports this weekend. We got the World Series, college football, NFL football. I hope that I can help you win some money and get Beat the Bookie back to its rightful spot as a money winner for CitrusTV. A big thank you goes out to our associate producer, Griffin Bloomstein, our executive producer, Adam Hipsky, and running the prompter, our good friend, Luke Moyer. I'm Jish Sokolsky saying so long and win some money for me this weekend.